If I don't love you, you can never go down in between my legs. If I don't love you, I will never be comfortable enough to spread my legs so that you bury your face in it. Never. It can never spread. It's not that I don't like it. Who doesn't? I know there are some women who don't like their men going down on them, right? As a matter of fact, you will think, if I were in a relationship with you, you would think that, oh, I prefer to do it than for me to receive. You would think that I prefer to give than to receive. I'm actually a giver, but I'm equally a receiver, right? And I don't know how to receive because I've always been a giver. And there's some men who will not go down. Why? Because they feel that place is scary to look upon. I can remember the first time that I had to check myself down there with a mirror, squatted to check myself. Oh my God. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jane Lawrence and I come with a lot of juicy content. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that I got inspired by through a comment, all right? Somebody responded to one of my posts yesterday and he or she said something. Do you really love someone if you told them to go down on you? And I'm like, okay. Are we really going to do this? So let me tell you something from my own point of view. If I don't love you, you can never go down in between my legs. If I don't love you, I will never be comfortable enough to spread my legs so that you bury your face in it. Never. It's never going to happen. Because first and foremost, for someone like me, sex is a very sacred thing, right? It's not something that I would like to indulge with one or two or multiple people. My body is a temple, right? It's the temple of God. Aside that, as a human being, I believe that when you share your body with someone, you're sharing your soul, your spirit. There is a bond you have when you share your most intimate moments with people, even as deep as kissing. It is. But there are some people who have gotten to a level where even if you kiss them or you smoosh them or you have sex with them, it doesn't really mean a thing. They're dead on the inside. Like they've killed their emotion. That sacred thing that ignites a spark when intimacy occurs between a man and a woman. All right. And that could come about as a result of traumatic experiences that they've had, in the past. And so they've closed up that sacred part of them, that soft side of them, that sensitive side of them. Whatever they do is always on the surface, is never deep for them. But for someone like me, I view sex as deep. And so for you to even get to that point with me, it takes a lot of you making me believe that you're in for a long haul, making me believe that we have the same morals and values. It's you making me believe that, you're a one woman kind of man. Because I wouldn't want to be sharing myself with someone who is a public toilet. I wouldn't want to be sharing myself with someone who does not see anything bad with digging his joystick in every hole that he finds. I wouldn't. Because to me, you're a reflection of who I am, and I am a reflection of who you are. So if we do not have the same moral standings and values, then we can't be together. And I cannot be vulnerable enough to share my intimate parts with you. Because once you do that, it is a bond that is formed, and that's where soul ties begin. Sex can just be sex, right? For some people, you do the penetration and that's it. But you burying your face in between a person's legs, I'm talking from my own point of view, it's a different ballgame altogether, because you're opening the gates of heaven wide for that brother to say, it is you. It is the entirety of you. You're opening the gates of eternity. the gate of life up to that person. Call me crazy, but it is the whole truth. That is where life comes from. That is where life emerges from. That is where life begins. Do you understand? So, yes, if I allow you, then it means that we're way deep into the shit for life. So it doesn't matter how much I really like a person, right? I could literally like a person so deeply. And he wants to go down, and I will raise your head up. Do the rest, kiss, smush, do whatever you need to do. But you see, opening that leg, like opening that package and having you look at it and bury your head. It's not because, oh, maybe that place is not clean, or that place is not neat, or that place has some dark patch there. It doesn't. But the truth is, that is that is the most vulnerable position you could ever put me. That's the most vulnerable position I could ever be in. Having you face it, having you look at me. That is me. It's not even the top. It's not even me out of my clothes. Fine. Me out of my clothes is me out of my clothes. But me sleeping and spreading my legs out just so that you give me pleasure with your mouth. That's a very deep stuff for me. So yes, if I do love you and you've made me comfortable, you've made me understand where you stand in my life and where I stand in your life, and you've made me realize that we have somewhat the same moral standings, and you're not looking out, just as I am not going to look out. You're there for me, I am there for you. Basically, you've built some level of trust, and you've made me become so comfortable with you such that every wall comes down. My level of inhibition is dropped from 100 to 0, or maybe to 5, because, at some point in time, you still have your inhibition up and down based on maybe body flaws and all of that. But you've made me realize that with you, there is nothing I can't be. With you, what you see is a beauty, a queen, a goddess that you can't ever dream of toying with. And I see it from the things that you do, because whether you like it or not, action always speaks better than words. You could say all of those things and your actions are entirely different from the things that you've said. All right? Until you bring me to that point, it can never spread. It's not that I don't like it. Who doesn't? I know there are some women who don't like their men going down on them, right? As a matter of fact, you will think, if I were in a relationship with you, you would think that, oh, I prefer to do it than for me to receive. You would think that I prefer to give than to receive. I'm actually a giver, but I'm equally a receiver, right? And I don't know how to receive because I've always been a giver. And now I'm talking in terms of every other thing outside of the bedroom. You as a person outside of the bedroom also tells you as a person inside of the bedroom. So if you're a giver, if you're the sort of person who gives a lot, you're in a position where people take from you, you give, and you do not receive a lot, it will show in the bedroom. So I've always been a giver, such that even in the bedroom, I feel like I ought to be the giver. So if you as a woman, you're like me and you're with a man who is not emotionally strong to handle a woman who is the one giving and oftentimes pushing away from receiving, you will feel a type of way. You would feel like maybe she's trying to emasculate you in the bedroom. But if you're a man who is very smart, emotionally smart, and you're well experienced, you would understand that there are certain people who act a certain way based on certain experiences. And so you'll be able to walk around assuring that woman, making her feel safe being in her feminine energy. Because if all the time you as a woman, you're always wanting to give in a bedroom and not receiving, you're in your masculine energy. And oftentimes I'm always in my masculine energy because I've always been masculine. No, I am feminine. When I mean masculine, masculine in terms of the fact that I provide solely for myself. I provide for my, family as well. I rarely have given to me. So I take that into the bedroom as well. So I find myself always giving and reluctant to accept or to receive. And that can be off-putting because men always want to be in charge. Men always want to feel like they're the ones giving. And they love to enjoy watching their women receive in a bedroom. Unless you don't have that type of woman, it will be easy for you to bury your head in between a woman's leg. And that doesn't also mean that a woman who is not willing to accept your face in between her legs doesn't like you or doesn't love you. Some women are just built differently. There are some women who don't like it. And there are just some men who don't even like going down because they feel like that place is not hygienic enough. They feel like that place is not hygienic enough. And then you can't be going down on anyone, just about anyone, because the truth is you need to know the health status of a person before you go down on them, so that you don't go contract HPV on all of those sexually transmitted diseases that you can contract from, performing oral activities with your partner. It is very, very important. And that's one of the things that also contribute to a lot of people not wanting to go down. And if you don't go down on a person, it only shows the state of your relationship or how you trust them, your level of trust for that person, especially if you're married, So, yes, back to the question, does your partner really love you if they say you should go down on them? I think for a woman, she does. Because it's not easy for any and every woman to spread their legs wide open for you to bury yourself in there or to bury your face in there. It's not easy. For the man, men, I can't really vouch for men because men, they will be a lot happier. If you want to bury your face in your joystick, they will be glad to open it and let you have a fun-filled time as long as you make them come. You're good to go. So you can never really, like I said before, you can never really tell if a man loves you from the sexual activities that you have with him. You can never really tell. The only thing that can show as a proof to the fact that this man really likes you are the things he does, the extra sacrifices that he carries out for you, the time that he spends with you, the consistency, and then the amount of investment he puts into that relationship in terms of money, in terms of connection, in terms of everything. Do you understand the drift? So you can't equate a man's love based on the sexual activities that he does for you. So even if he goes down on you, it doesn't really mean that he likes you. Honestly, men can do that. Some men can do that, especially men who don't bloody care about their health. They can do that. Shockingly. But if you're a woman and you don't like to go down on your man, it doesn't mean that you hate him. And that's something that both of you have to sit down to talk about. Now, babe, I really don't like to go down. And it does not mean that I do not love you. I could do other things, but going down just puts me in a position that makes me feel less of a person. Because there's some women who don't, to be honest. There's some women who feel like it's demeaning, it's dominating, it's not nice, it's not clean, it's not blah, 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 doesn't change the fact that they don't love you. It's just their mindset and their preference. And there's some men who will not go down. Why? Because they feel that place is scary to look upon. I can remember the first time that I had to check myself down there with a mirror, squatted to check myself. Oh my God. That was when I was in my secondary school for the first time, right? I wanted to see where my pee comes from because I didn't really understand where the pee comes from. And then when you're menstruating, where the blood comes from, because I didn't really know. So that was for the pee. And when I looked at it, I was like, wow, why does it look like raw meat? So you can imagine a man also, except a man who is really experienced and really, really loves you, right? Really, really, really loves you. That's the man that would enjoy going down on you. But there are some men who don't. And even if they do, it's because they want to please the women. And that's not something I would appreciate as a woman. If you don't like it, say it from the get-go that I don't like it too, so that we know, and I will carry my two left leg and run away because I know that I would like it. I know that I would like it, but it will not be easy for you to get it because you have to put me in a state where I trust my vulnerability with you. So yes, you could actually love a person, or a person could actually love you and want you to go down on them. It's not a big deal, but you have to be certain that that person is safe going down on you based on your health status. Are you clean? Do you do your pap smear? Are you clinically clean? Because it's one thing for you to think that you're clean, and it's another thing for you to not be clean because there's some things happening down there that you haven't noticed, or that has not, gravitated towards being noticed. There are some things that could be happening down there that is just docile. And that's why it's important that you have your pap smear, you check with your gynecologist, book for appointment to know your state. That's if you are sexually active, okay? And even if you're not sexually active, that's if you're sexually active, that is. That's if you're sexually active, okay? So someone can actually love you and ask you to go down. Doesn't mean that they hate you or they're trying to put you in a demeaning position. It is them entrusting their vulnerability to you. And it all depends on how you handle it. All right? So if you go down doing one or two activity, not staying longer, so that they, especially for the men, just going down one or two, not staying longer, as long as she stayed going down on you, then she will feel a certain way. So you have to measure how much you've received, how long you've received from her, and give it back to her. So if she gave you 1 hour, you have to give her 1 hour, 30 minutes. Women, it takes a longer period of time for women to reach their climax. So you have to give them that long period as well too. Okay? All right then. So this is it. This is where I come to the end of this video. And I do hope that I have answered the question for that commenter. And I really do love the fact that you gave me an inspiration on what to talk about. I wish I could have this and just come on and talk about it, and you learn one or two things. Okay. All right. Until I come your way, do know that I love you and God loves you best. Mwah.